My friends, most people spend their entire lives chasing wealth, unaware that the very thing they seek is already within their reach, but buried beneath the clutter of a restless mind. The tragedy of human existence is not the lack of opportunity, but the lack of order in thought. A disorganized mind is like a stormy sea. No vessel of success can sail upon it. But the moment you calm that sea, the winds of prosperity begin to blow in your favor. You are about to discover the 5 sacred steps to organize your mind to attract prosperity not by chance but by law. Stay with me until the end of this journey, for what you will learn today can turn the confusion that has delayed your success into the clarity that commands it. If you have ever wondered why wealth slips through your fingers, why effort seems unrewarded, or why luck favors others, this message holds your answer. 1. The chaos within. Prosperity does not begin in the bank, it begins in the mind. When your thoughts are scattered, filled with fear, doubt, and indecision, you create an inner fog that repels every opportunity life offers. The first step to attract prosperity is to confront the chaos within. Each negative thought, each complaint, each whisper of limitation is a thief of fortune. Begin by examining the noise inside your head, the unspoken fears, the buried regrets, the habits of worry. Write them down. See them for what they are. Mental clutter that blocks your wealth. A disorganized mind cannot hold a vision long enough for it to become real. But when you decide to cleanse your mental house, to throw out the useless thoughts that serve no purpose, you create space for ideas of greatness to enter. Clarity is the first sign of transformation, and order is its foundation. The richest people in history began by mastering one thing, their thinking. 1, 2, the law of mental order. The universe operates under order. Stars follow orbits, tides follow rhythm, and seasons follow time. Why then should your mind be the only force in creation living in disorder? When your thoughts move in harmony with purpose, everything around you begins to align. The law of mental order states that your outer world is nothing but the organized or disorganized reflection of your inner world. If your finances are in chaos, your thinking is chaotic. If your relationships are unstable, your emotions are unorganized, the remedy is not found in frantic activity. It is found in mental structure. Begin each day by setting your mental direction. What do I want? Why do I want it? How will I think to deserve it? Order your thoughts before you order your day, and life will obey. And 3, the power of controlled thought. Your mind is a magnet, and every thought you think is a command to reality. The problem is not that people think too little. It's that they think too wildly. Most allow their minds to run loose like untrained horses, galloping from fear to fear, problem to problem. Controlled thought is the discipline of the prosperous. It is the art of holding one idea, one powerful, enriching idea, until it dominates your entire mental world. When you learn to control your thought, you stop being a servant to circumstance and become a master of it. You no longer react. You attract. Controlled thought transforms desire into determination, and determination into destiny. And 4, faith as a mental blueprint. Faith is not blind belief, it is organized thought charged with conviction. Every achievement, every fortune began as an idea supported by unshakable faith. Faith gives shape to the invisible, making the unseen real. When your mind is organized, faith becomes your blueprint, a mental design of the prosperity you will build. Faith does not wait for evidence, it creates it. It turns the intangible into the inevitable. The organized mind does not say, I hope it happens. It says, it is already mine, I am merely preparing to receive it. And 5, persistent focus. The greatest destroyer of prosperity is distraction. Every time your attention shifts from your goal to your fears, you scatter the energy that builds success. Focus is the glue that holds your purpose together. It is the quiet force that says, no matter what happens, I will hold my vision. Train your mind to stay on one purpose until it becomes reality. The mind that wavers achieves nothing. The mind that persists moves mountains. Persistence is mental organization in motion. It gathers, concentrates, and directs energy toward prosperity until it must appear. 6. Harmony of action and thought. You may organize your mind, but unless your actions match your thoughts, prosperity will not stay. Harmony between thought and deed is the final step. When what you think, what you feel, and what you do all move in the same direction, you become unstoppable. Act as though prosperity is already yours. Speak with confidence, move with purpose, and plan with intelligence. The world obeys the one whose thoughts and actions speak the same language. Inclusion, prosperity is not a miracle. It is a result. It belongs to the one whose mind is ordered, whose thoughts are disciplined, whose faith is alive, whose focus is unshaken, and whose actions are aligned with vision. When you organize your mind, you organize your destiny. The wealth you seek is already on its way. It only awaits the command of your ordered mind to prosperity begins where mental order begins, and yet most people live in a storm of confusion they have learned to call normal. They rise each morning with 100 thoughts racing through their minds, worries about money, regret over mistakes, resentment toward others, and fear about the future. This invisible noise is the silent destroyer of abundance. It is the unseen fog that blinds the mind's vision and weakens its power to create. You cannot build a palace of wealth on a foundation of mental disorder, just as you cannot grow a garden in soil filled with weeds. The first step toward attracting prosperity is to bring order to the chaos within. The human mind, when disorganized, scatters its energy in 1,000 directions. Each negative thought becomes a drain on the reservoir of creative force. The man who constantly dwells on what he lacks unconsciously builds walls between himself and the very opportunities that could enrich him. Thoughts of failure attract failure because they magnetize the mind to failure's vibration. To attract prosperity, one must cleanse the mind of every idea that contradicts it. Imagine your mind as a vast mansion. For years you have allowed strangers, fear, doubt, jealousy, indecision, to wander its halls, rearranging your furniture and clouding your windows. Each time you speak of limitation, you hand these intruders the keys to another room, and then you wonder why your home feels dark and crowded. To organize your mind is to reclaim this mansion. You must go from room to room, identifying which thoughts serve your purpose and which must be dismissed. When you remove the clutter of conflicting beliefs, you create space for clarity, confidence, and purpose to move freely. A mind at peace is not empty. It is powerful, focused, and fertile ground for ideas of wealth. Disorganization of thought shows itself not only in mental confusion, but in life itself. Look around you. A messy desk, an unplanned day, unfinished goals, all reflections of inner disorder. Prosperity avoids the disorganized mind because the universe itself operates in perfect order. When your thoughts align with that same universal rhythm, your outer life begins to mirror the harmony within. Every successful person has first succeeded in the unseen realm of thought. Before money flowed to them, ideas did. Before results appeared, clarity appeared. To organize the mind, one must begin with awareness, an honest observation of the mental chatter that consumes energy without purpose. Then comes choice. The conscious decision to replace complaint with gratitude, fear with vision, and doubt with faith. Each time you do this, you are silently reprogramming your consciousness to become a magnet for prosperity. No matter how vast your desire for wealth, it cannot enter a mind crowded with contradictions. A single clear thought of purpose, held consistently, is more powerful than 1,000 scattered wishes. The chaos within must be tamed, for prosperity does not come to the anxious or the uncertain. It comes to the calm, the confident, and the organized mind that has learned to think in harmony with abundance itself. Everything in the universe operates through perfect order. The planets move in their orbits without collision. The tides rise and fall with precision, and the seasons change in flawless rhythm. Nothing in creation is random, yet many people live their lives in complete mental disorder and wonder why success eludes them. The law of mental order is the principle that your outer world is a mirror of your inner one. Whatever appears in your circumstances is the physical echo of your thought patterns. When your thinking is confused, scattered, or inconsistent, life responds in the same way, bringing confusion, lack, and instability. But when your mind is organized and directed toward a clear purpose, the world around you aligns to that frequency and begins to move in your favor. Prosperity is not something you chase, it is something you attract through mental harmony. If your finances are in chaos, it is because your thoughts about money are in chaos. If your relationships are full of conflict, it is because your emotional patterns are disordered. The remedy is never outside, it is always within. The law of mental order demands that before you can control results, you must control your state of mind. You cannot organize your circumstances until you organize your thinking. Begin each day by setting your mind in alignment with the results you desire. Think of your mind as a workshop where ideas are the tools of creation. If those tools are scattered, rusted, and misplaced, how can any fine structure be built? Clear away the debris of useless thoughts and choose the tools that build prosperity, belief, purpose, gratitude, and direction. Most people spend their mental energy reacting to life instead of designing it. They allow the chaos of the outside world to dictate the order of their inner world. The man who lives by reaction is a slave to chance. The man who lives by mental order becomes a master of destiny. To practice the law of mental order is to decide, consciously and deliberately, what you will think, how you will feel, and what attitude you will hold before the world can influence you. Once you decide who you are mentally, life simply reflects that image back to you. This law is impartial. It rewards both order and disorder equally. If you think in patterns of confusion, you will receive confusion. If you think in patterns of harmony, you will receive harmony. The universe does not choose for you. It merely amplifies the state of your mind. This is why the disciplined thinker, even when starting from nothing, soon rises above his circumstances. His organized thought becomes a blueprint for organized success. Prosperity follows order as surely as dawn follows night. Align your thoughts with purpose, direct them with faith, and sustain them with consistency. When your mind is governed by order, everything in your life begins to obey that same law. The human mind is the most powerful instrument of creation ever known. Yet most people use it as though it were a wild horse running loose in every direction. They allow fear, worry, and doubt to seize the reins, and then they wonder why life drags them toward failure instead of leading them toward prosperity. Controlled thought is the art of harnessing the power of your own mind. It is the ability to hold one idea with such intensity, such unwavering focus, that the entire universe begins to organize itself around that idea. Controlled thought transforms chaos into order, desire into determination, and imagination into tangible prosperity. It is the silent force through which all great wealth is first born. Faith is the invisible architect of every visible success. It is not a vague hope or blind optimism, but a precise and deliberate mental design that gives shape to the unseen. Faith is the power to see what does not yet exist, to believe in its reality so completely that it begins to materialize through the very force of conviction. Every fortune, every invention, every masterpiece of achievement was first built in the silent chambers of the mind by one who dared to believe before the world could see. Faith organizes thought into form. It transforms an idle wish into a living plan. When a man or woman possesses faith in an idea, that idea becomes magnetic. It draws to itself every resource, opportunity, and person necessary for its fulfillment. Without faith, thought remains scattered and weak, like wind without direction. With faith, thought becomes a blueprint, a map that guides energy toward creation. The subconscious, in turn, communicates with the infinite intelligence that governs all creation, and through that connection, what was once invisible begins to take tangible shape. This is the process through which all true prosperity is born. Those who lack faith often live as victims of chance. They drift from one plan to another, always doubting, always hesitating, never anchoring their thoughts in certainty. The man of faith, however, walks in quiet confidence. He may face obstacles, but he never calls them failures, only tests of endurance. His belief becomes his shield, and his vision his compass. Faith gives him the courage to persist when logic says surrender. It gives him calm when others panic, strength when others falter. Faith is not just a feeling. It is organized thought charged with emotion and backed by decision. When you hold faith as your mental blueprint, prosperity is no longer a possibility. It becomes an inevitability. There is a quiet, invisible power that separates the dreamers from the achievers, the wanderers from the builders, the wishers from the wealthy, and that power is persistent focus. Focus is the ability to hold one thought, one vision, one purpose in the mind until it becomes the dominant pattern of your life. Most people never reach prosperity, not because they lack intelligence or opportunity, but because their attention is divided. They begin a goal with passion only to abandon it at the first sign of difficulty. Their minds drift from one desire to another, like a ship changing direction with every gust of wind. But prosperity responds only to the mind that is steadfast. Persistent focus is the mental glue that binds all the forces of creation together. It gathers energy, sustains faith, and directs action with precision. The man who holds his vision with unwavering focus becomes like a magnet that draws circumstances to his purpose, every thought, every event. every chance encounter begins to align with the vibration of his desire. He may move slowly, but he moves steadily, and that steady movement becomes unstoppable. The mind that wavers dissipates its power, but the mind that holds its aim concentrates it into a single beam of influence that can pierce through every obstacle. This is the great secret of achievement, the ability to focus persistently on one definite aim until reality has no choice but to conform to it. Distraction is the thief of destiny. In the modern world, countless forces compete for your attention, promising excitement but delivering emptiness. Every time you allow your attention to wander, you scatter the energy that could be building your dream. The prosperous mind knows that attention is currency, and it spends it wisely. When you focus on lack, you purchase more of it. When you focus on abundance, you buy its presence into your life. The mind that is persistently focused on prosperity begins to think, feel, and act as though prosperity were already secured. And by the immutable laws of the universe, that state of consciousness must eventually express itself in tangible form. Persistent focus is not mere concentration for a moment. It is sustained direction of thought over time. It means thinking of your purpose when you wake, carrying it through your work, and revisiting it before you rest. It is the constant mental nourishment of your vision until it becomes a living part of you. Obstacles will arise, distractions will tempt you, and doubt will whisper that your efforts are wasted. But each time you return to your vision, you reinforce its power. The mind learns through repetition, and what is repeated becomes real. Persistence in focus is persistence in faith. It tells the universe, I will not waver, I will not turn away, I will not quit. That firmness of intention bends reality itself. The man who maintains persistent focus cannot fail because he refuses to stop long enough for failure to become permanent. The highest form of mental organization is harmony, the perfect alignment between what you think, what you feel, and what you do. Prosperity is never the result of thought alone. It is the product of thought expressed through consistent, intelligent action. Many people think grand thoughts but act in small, uncertain ways. Others work tirelessly but think in confusion and fear. Both live in conflict, and conflict within always manifests as chaos without. The secret to attracting lasting prosperity lies in creating unity between your inner and outer worlds. When your actions reflect your beliefs and your beliefs are guided by clarity of purpose, you become a living instrument of success. The universe responds to harmony, for it is built upon harmony. Every vibration that is consistent, every rhythm that is steady produces power. So too does a human life become powerful when the mind and body move in one accord toward a single goal. To act in harmony with your thought means to behave as though what you desire already exists. If your goal is abundance, your words must carry confidence, your steps must display certainty, and your choices must reflect trust in your outcome. When you say one thing but do another, you send mixed messages to the universe and to your own subconscious mind. It cannot respond clearly because you have not spoken clearly through your actions. The law of harmony requires that you embody your faith through behavior. Thinking prosperity but acting in fear creates resistance. Thinking growth but acting in hesitation delays it. The mind commands, but the body must execute that command with conviction for results to appear. Harmony between thought and action also eliminates doubt. When you begin to act on your vision, even in small ways, you strengthen belief through experience. Each effort builds evidence. Each result, however minor, reinforces the mind's conviction that the goal is attainable. This loop of thought and action builds momentum, and momentum is the engine of prosperity. Every step you take in alignment with your organized thought declares to the world and to yourself, I believe in what I am doing. That belief gathers unseen forces to assist you, people, opportunities, and events that seem coincidental but are actually drawn to the vibration of harmony you have created. Disorganization in life often comes from the separation of thinking and doing. People plan more than they act, or they act without thinking clearly. Prosperity requires both. Thought as the blueprint and action as the construction. The dreamer who refuses to move remains a prisoner of imagination. The worker who moves without purpose remains trapped in effort. But the individual who combines a clear mental design with decisive, purposeful action becomes a builder of destiny. Harmony of action and thought is the final seal of prosperity. for it unites the invisible with the visible, transforming mental order into physical abundance, and making success not just a vision but a living reality. Prosperity is not a secret, it is a system, and that system begins and ends in the mind. The world does not reward wishful thinking. It rewards organized thought, disciplined faith, and consistent action. The 5 steps to organize your mind are not mere philosophies. They are the very laws by which all success has ever been built. When you cleanse the chaos within, align yourself with the law of mental order, master-controlled thought. Build faith as your blueprint. Maintain persistent focus and live in harmony between what you think and what you do. You place yourself in direct partnership with the creative power of the universe itself. Wealth is not a matter of luck. It is a reflection of alignment. Every person who has achieved greatness has first won the battle within their own mind. The disorganized thinker moves through life reacting to chance, but the organized mind commands life with precision and purpose. You were not created to drift. You were designed to direct. Every dream planted within you is a seed waiting for mental order to give it life. Prosperity is not waiting for you somewhere in the distance. It is waiting for you to prepare a place for it within. So, as you walk from this moment forward, remember this. Your mind is the workshop of your destiny. Guard it, shape it, discipline it. Feed it only with the thoughts that lead to growth, confidence, and abundance. Let every idea you hold be guided by clarity, every emotion charged with faith, every action aligned with vision. When your mind becomes organized, the world must follow. For no force on earth can resist the calm, determined, and harmonious mind that knows exactly what it wants and refuses to be moved until it receives it. You hold within you the power to design your own prosperity. The moment you decide to organize your thoughts, you awaken the forces that build empires, cure impossibilities, and draw abundance from the unseen. The treasure you seek is already yours. It awaits the command of your ordered mind. Walk with certainty, act with purpose, and think with power, for the law of prosperity always serves the mind that has learned to master itself. Every great success began with a controlled thought. An idea so definite, so strong that nothing could scatter its energy. The moment you learn to control your thinking, you become the master of your fate, for your thoughts shape the conditions that surround you. When the mind is undisciplined, it leaks energy. Every fearful thought is a small hole in the vessel of your power. Each doubt drains your confidence. Every time you imagine defeat, you weaken your will. Controlled thought stops this leakage. It gathers all the scattered rays of your mind and focuses them into a single beam of creative energy. Just as the sun's rays, when concentrated through a lens, can ignite fire, so too can a focused mind ignite prosperity. This is why those who achieve great wealth and success often seem to move with calm certainty. They have trained their minds to obey their will instead of their emotions. Controlled thought does not mean rigid thinking. It means directed thinking. It means knowing what you want, why you want it, and refusing to dwell on anything that contradicts it. The uncontrolled mind wanders from desire to fear, from hope to hesitation, from belief to disbelief. Such a mind sends mixed signals to the universe, and as a result, it receives mixed results. The controlled mind, however, thinks only of success and allows no opposing thought to take root. It is not the number of thoughts that creates prosperity, but the purity and persistence of one dominant thought held long enough to become reality. To master controlled thought, one must first develop awareness. Begin to notice what you think about most. If your thoughts are centered on lack, you are feeding lack. If your thoughts dwell on abundance, you are feeding abundance. The mind cannot serve two masters. It will always create according to the image it holds most often. Train it daily as you would a muscle. Replace every fear with a vision of success, every doubt with a declaration of power. The more you practice this discipline, the stronger your mental control becomes. When you finally learn to command your thoughts, life will obey. You will discover that success is not a battle against circumstances, but a victory over self. Most people wait for evidence before they believe. They say, when I see the results, I will have faith. But the law of the mind works in reverse. You must first have faith to create the evidence. Faith precedes proof, not the other way around. When you organize your mind with faith, you are impressing upon the unseen intelligence of the universe a clear instruction. This is what I expect. This is what I am building. This is what I will receive. Life responds to that certainty. Circumstances begin to shift. People appear at the right moment. Doors that were once locked swing open because the vibration of belief has already claimed its outcome. Faith is a mental blueprint because it gives structure to desire. A wish without faith is like a sketch without lines. It has no boundaries, no form, and no power to stand. But when faith enters, every detail of your goal becomes defined in your imagination. You see it, feel it, live it as if it already exists. That picture, held with unwavering confidence, instructs your subconscious mind to find ways, means, and paths to make it real.